Hey everyone, this is Charles Coleman, team leader over here at Keller Williams Avenues Realty. And today I am interviewing
Whitney Steel from Keller Williams Avenues Realty.
awesome. And so Whitney, super appreciate you jumping on the call with me today and want to just kind of go through the process of what it looked like for you to start your real estate journey and where you are today. And if you wouldn't mind, letting everyone know, when did you become a licensed real estate agent?
Yeah, actually, I became a licensed real estate agent about a year ago now, so last June. So it's been about a year since I've had my license.
Awesome. And you are currently what we would consider a dual career agent. So
Mhm.
you do have another job that takes most of your time. What are you doing in your main career right now?
Yeah, so I work as a marriage and family therapist, and I actually work from home now, working with
Mhm.
insurance companies, getting authorization and coverage for patients in eating that struggle with eating disorders.
Yeah.
Um, so I do that. I mean, it's 40 hours
Mhm.
a week, but it's flexible.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I've been doing that, but I've been a marriage and family therapist for about 9 years now. Um, and enjoy it, but a little burnt out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, 9 years in any career, I mean, that is definitely a long stint. And from some of the conversations that we've had offline, it definitely sounds like a very challenging career. So
Yes.
when you decide to get your real estate license, you chose KW. What made you join Keller Williams for your brokerage of choice?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. So one was I know some brokerages actually won't do dual career, and it wasn't something that I could negate my paycheck and paying bills and all of that. So this is a way for me to build a business on the side until I can get big enough to transition over full time. So that was one piece. The other piece is I know a few KW agents, close friendships, and they've had nothing but great things to say about the training, the market center, the opportunities you have to learn from other experienced agents, new agents. So a lot of it was around the training, the feel that I had coming in. Meeting with you, Charles, you actually gave me a lot of like comfort and knowing that I wouldn't be alone, and also that there's a coaching program and for new agents, and that's been, I mean, beyond words, like so valuable um, in helping me kind of understand the career, understand contracts, all of that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, where I would be completely lost and spend hours and hours trying to figure things out that I really don't have time for with being dual career.
Yeah, no, I think that, hearing the journey and the culture and the people, I think that, more and more that's what I hear about the why I joined KW, and just that the network of people is huge. And so you just had a closing, wanted to
Mhm.
congratulate you on that.
Thank you.
And tell me about that process a little bit. Where did you find this client? You're working a 40-hour work week. Yeah, I know some things have
Mhm.
changed and you're able to work from home, but that doesn't make it necessarily so much easier. So um, where did the first client come from?
So my first client was actually it was my grandmother's home, but in a trust. And so my parents needed to sell it to get funding for her care.
Mhm.
And actually before that, it's not closed yet, but a new build for my younger sister. So that's under contract, won't be closed until closer to the end of this year. But yeah, so mine so far has been family.
Yeah.
And I do have some like prospects with
Mhm.
friends.
Yeah. No, I think that's huge, right? And I think a lot of people discount working with family. And this is the thing, family's not easy to work with. And being able to show your family that you are the real estate economist of choice and getting them to trust that, yes, this is a secondary career for me. And you know me as this, and I am also here and I am able to assist you. That is huge.
Yeah.
So What has been some of the biggest obstacles that you faced during this transaction that has just closed?
Yeah, actually, exactly what you kind of said. So there was working with my parents around, this is emotional for them, which I'm actually glad I have my skill set for that
Yeah.
in that regard. But family always makes it a little bit muddled. Um, so I think just working with them, setting my own boundaries
Mhm.
around, like, you can ask all the questions you want. I have a whole team behind me. It's not just me trying to figure this out on my own. So I leaned on that a lot of, like, I have an entire team and a coaching program behind me that help me find answers, help me provide you the best advice and
Yeah.
support. And this is not just me trying, like, winging it. So I think that was one of the more challenging things of navigating those conversations, more so with my dad.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, it was very much of, like, thanking me, feeling like
Mhm.
I did exactly what I needed to do, got them probably 30,000 more dollars than they would have gotten selling it on their own.
Yeah.
So I think they saw the value in it. It just took convincing.
Absolutely. No, I think that's huge. So, what would you say was the biggest win that you had from this transaction?
Yeah, I think ultimately that I felt a lot of pressure of making sure that this transaction got the most money for my grandma ultimately.
Yeah.
And I know it doesn't always have to be your grandma, but it can be somebody that you care about, that
Mhm.
that was referred to you.
Yeah.
I've always considered myself as a therapist, an advocate, and I feel the same as within being a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Of that is my role. I am advocating to do the best that I can for my clients. Um, and so the win, I think, was getting them. I mean, it was 80,000 over ask. I think we were
Yeah.
right in a sweet spot,
Yeah.
but really got them a lot more money to be able to take care of my grandma, where
Yeah.
they were quite worried, honestly, about what they would have for the next couple of years.
No, and I love that, right? When you start thinking about just the clientele and helping our clients win, family does hit a little bit differently. And
Mhm.
coming from the dual career piece, right? You said, yeah, family's a little bit more challenging. Um, and being able to go out and get that at bat and winning at such a high level, I mean, that has to feel
Mhm.
good for you as well as the family, knowing that they made the best decision.
Yes.
So, tell me about the support, right? I know that you
Mhm.
you you talked about the support of the brokerage and not being able to wing it, and the team and those different pieces. So, what did the support look like for you during this transaction from the brokerage?
Yeah, I mean, really from my go-to is Margaret in the
Yeah.
coaching program. And she was really helpful of, like, even strategizing pricing.
Mhm.
She definitely asked, like, what are you thinking and why? And then she'll
Yeah.
give her kind of perspective on things and her
Mhm.
knowledge. And I'm so grateful for that, because I think it put us, I was able to find a price point that I think reached a lot more people than what I
Mhm.
would have.
Yeah.
Um, so I think my interactions with her were great, even through we got two different offers, but the second offer was 45 minutes after the deadline, and she's just like, calm, let's wait.
Yeah.
So I think that reassurance of, you don't have to be in a rush to do these things, even though you're feeling pressure from the other agent, or
Mhm.
sorry, the buyer's agent. And then also got a transaction coordinator, Andy, who I believe is, like, connected with the Keller Williams.
Yeah.
And she was phenomenal. And I would say, as, like, a new agent, I mean, saved hours upon hours of time of, it's a small portion of your commission that makes
Mhm.
a huge difference of being able to get everything on time, know what you need to have.
Mhm.
That was huge.
Yeah.
So,
Just that whole that team around you, right? To
mhm.
where you had the productivity coach with Margaret, who at times that's who we need to stand beside us just to let us know, like, yes, the dates and deadlines they have hit, and let's work with some of these different pieces, because at the end of the day, it's not about the other agents, it's about
Mhm.
your client. And to have someone reinforce that is huge. And I love hearing that you were able to use a transaction coordinator, because I think a lot of the times when a new agent gets into the business, there is a lot of expenditures going out and not a whole lot of
Uh-huh.
money coming in. And being able to recognize that and being able to say, you know what, this couple $100 is going to benefit my clients as well as my own sanity, to make sure this thing goes by smoothly. I love that you were able to recognize that for your first deal.
Yeah.
So you are in a unique position. You are a dual career agent who has more transactions in the pipeline that are set to close. And plus you are working with other clients that are getting ready to enter into the space.
Mhm.
What advice would you have for someone that is just either starting out now or who is struggling a little bit to launch their career?
Yeah, I would say just kind of having realistic expectations with your limitations, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. So I know that I only have a certain amount of hours to give to this, per day or per week. And so when I do that, I try to like put in as much as I possibly can, be productive in it. And then just knowing that it's going to take time. Like I know
Yeah.
that my career is not going to launch in 3, 4 months.
Mhm.
If as opposed to if I were doing this full time. Like I know the realistic expectation of I have a full-time job that makes
Mhm.
good money.
Mhm.
And I know that,
Yeah.
it's going to take time to build where I can eventually let that go. And continuously reassuring myself of like staying connected with my sphere, my lead generation. That is the hardest part,
Yeah.
especially with time and
Mhm.
knowing what I can and cannot do. So like I've spoken, with my coach around open houses is a large amount of time to put in on a
Yeah.
weekend that I don't necessarily have. So I have to make up the difference in connecting other ways with my sphere and other people,
Yeah.
because it's just not something feasible for my life right now. Um, but just kind of knowing that. And so some of it's kind of sifting through the different options of lead generation and figuring
Yeah.
that out, and then having realistic expectations of this is going to take a while. And I've set a goal for about a year and a half to 2 years to get to
Mhm.
full time. And I
Yeah.
think I'm fairly on par for that.
Yeah, no, I like that, right? When you start thinking about an agent getting into this thing, and I think it definitely goes back to the dollars, right? If we're leaving a full-time
Mhm.
job, we are going 100% to commissions. And we do try to put game plans into place to get business established so that within 90 days, we're starting to see some income.
Mhm.
And with you being a dual career agent, where the focus right now to pay the bills, there is a job that is in place. Yeah, that needs to take precedent. And
Mhm.
then family takes precedent in the
Mhm.
second position, right? And so going through and figuring out what the lead gen looks like, because you're absolutely right. With an open house, we're talking 4, 5, 6 hours
Mhm.
out of your week. And is that the biggest bang for your buck for what you can
Mhm.
do? And I like that you talked about the lead generation piece, because none of us got into this business to lead generate, right? None
Mhm.
of us were like, you know what, I love actually making lots of phone calls and
Right.
going to hit the pavement, right? Like we were all like, I like looking at houses, I like helping
Mhm.
people, right? And no one
Yes.
was like, let's make a bunch of phone calls. So Whitney, I super appreciate your time today. I
Yeah.
am excited to see the rest of this journey going for you, especially as a dual career agent and as it's progressing further and further, and taking the time out of your day to kind of give some insight of what a dual career position looks like as a real estate agent.
Mhm.
So thank you so much, Whitney,
Yeah.
and looking forward to just seeing you crush it the rest of 2022.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.